About 1 year ago, I anamorphed into a Magic the Gathering player, and a lot has happened in this past year since I started playing, with this including the good, the bad, and the ugly, and today I just wanted to talk about all of these changes made since I started playing. Welcome to the State of the Game 2025. Let's start with what I believe to be Magic's worst product in addition to their worst set they released this year, being Assassin's Creed. This product was particularly egregious with its Beyond Boosters. A Beyond Booster pack contains 7 Magic the Gathering cards, including a borderless card and Shining Foil in every pack. However, these booster boxes, specifically in the Beyond Boosters in Assassin's Creed, only contain 24 packs, which at the time they had already made play boosters the new standard, and these packs contain 14 Magic the Gathering cards in each booster, and 30 packs. And pre-Aetherdrift, they had 36! This product did a fantastic job at rubbing every Magic the Gathering player the wrong way, and was honestly dead on arrival. But now we're on to my first real set, Bloomburrow. A fantastic set, magical setting, and it really captured the minds of players. It made Magic feel like old school Magic again. Not really necessarily with the theme, but rather the idea that they're taking their world seriously. The world feels lived in, even before the Planeswalkers arrived, and in fact there is a de-emphasis on the Planeswalkers, which was a welcome return for many of the older school players. I think a lot of us would say an uneventful set is a good set, because if things are going smoothly, then there's no need to talk about it as much. And while the set was great, it also didn't have any controversy coming with it. So again, fantastic set, no problems. The next thing to happen this year was a little more on the controversial side. Surprise, surprise, we are playing Magic the Gathering, we can't go long without controversy. That being Mystery Booster 2 was announced, and at this point they had decided that they were going to not put it in stores. This set felt like it was almost guaranteed to be a slam dunk for Wizards of the Coast. It featured many cards that were deeply in need of reprints, and actually brought some of the most popular alchemy cards to real life. For example, the Oracle of the Alpha. Wizards made the controversial decision, however, to only include these at the moment in MagicCon Festival in the Boxes or at MagicCon. Duskmourn unfortunately gets overshadowed a bit by the next bit of news, but a horror-themed set is so exciting for me, and my one gripe is that they didn't take it seriously enough. While they were on the right track, I hope they go back in the future and do a genuinely horrific set with less of an emphasis on the corny 80s. But again, fun set. Not much to talk about there. Next two noteworthy events of this year were honestly impressive. One showing the disconnect of the community and how diluted they are in a way, and then immediately pair that with Magic doing something completely out of touch with the community, and it just led to this ticking time bomb of emotions that blew up and really made me personally question if I even wanted to play Magic anymore. The first of these is the dissolution of the Commander Rules Committee. This happened after, on September 23rd, 2024, the Commander RC banned Dockside Extortionist, Jeweled Lotus, Mana Crypt, and Nadu. Normally, this wouldn't be a big deal. Bans are standard in any game. However, bans don't happen a lot in Commander, and especially with such high power pieces. These bans unfortunately led to a hate campaign against all of the members of the Commander Rules Committee, and actually led to one of them being doxxed, which, again, we're playing with cardboard. We're playing pretend with cardboard. This is never okay, and it really, I think, taught a lot of people a lesson that they should have known beforehand. Until you have the money in your hand, your card is worthless. Your card is simply cardboard, and you're paying for the rules text on it. So, for anyone watching, please remember, it's especially important when you're watching my channel, because I buy large quantities of cardboard most people consider worthless already. a trading card isn't worth anything until you have already given the card to somebody and they've given you the money for the card. However, now everyone once again teams up against Wizards of the Coast as the Marvel Secret Lair Super Drop occurred around this time. If you didn't know, they released 5 secret lairs, one of each featuring an iconic Marvel character, and 4 cards to support their game plan. These were incredibly limited. I don't know what they were thinking when they printed these, but they sold out almost instantly. I know that a lot of people, myself included, weren't able to get a copy, and this led to mass outrage amongst Commander players as we all want to give our money to Wizards of the Coast, and now they won't even let us do that. What a weird business model. And sure, this can promote artificial scarcity, it can boost the value of your cards in the secondary market, which may promote your stocks. I don't know, but this was such a weird decision, and I hope they never do it again. Oh, what's that? They already did it this year? Well, at least they printed more of them this time. I'd say the next big event that happened was the return of MSRPs, which I think is super nice, you know? It's nice that local game stores have somewhere to ground their prices, and now there are basically 2 models in the LGS industry, which is you go off a TCG mid, TCG market, TCG high, TCG low, whatever you want, or you just follow Wizards MSRP. It sets a new standard, and it's very nice, at least for sealed product, to know, at least have an idea of what you're paying for. And alongside that, I wanted to note that they also changed the standard rotation, making it so that not only are now Universes Beyond going to be standard legal, but they are also going to be half of the sets moving forward, which have your opinions about. I'm not a big fan, though. Now, believe it or not, a lot of the older formats actually do receive a decent amount of people at least looking at cards that might need to be banned as they're being problematic. One of the big ones that happened was right before the dawn of the new year, 2025, and that was the banning of Amped Raptor and the One Ring. I'd say Amped Raptor was just such a massive menace in the format for so long, and it's kind of nice that, you know, it is really slowed down Boros energy. And while I don't have much to say about the next 2 sets, I figure it's worth mentioning Aetherdrift was catastrophic in terms of the predicted value in the set, and just how everything that had to do with the set almost got lowered in value just for being associated with Aetherdrift. It is going to be remembered as our March of the Machines aftermath, even though it was a full product, so in a way it's even worse. I mean, it's just, the limit environment was not great. The actual set for constructed play, again, not great. The, the first place foils, not great. People on the internet called them piss foils. And honestly, the fact that there is serialized cards in this set, and it's still not moving product, it's just insane. Tarkir Dragonstorm was great, though. Now, if you haven't been able to tell from most of my videos, I don't enjoy being negative about Magic the Gathering. I've only played for a year. I'm not that jaded. Or, maybe I am. But at this point, we've entered a new era of Magic, and that began with Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is not just an incredibly well-selling set. It is the best-selling set of all time, and that is also not the only record it's broken, according to Mark Rosewater. This set is absurd. The combination of collector booster boxes jumping up in price and the normal Universes Beyond tax we have to pay so Wizards can pay their licensing fees, it just feels like Universes Beyond was not made with the player in mind, at least when you're putting it in Standard. And this may be curmudgeonly of me to say, but I'm a little worried that Vivi, who is some of the big news in the Magic community right now, is not an outlier for a Universes Beyond set, but rather the norm, in the sense that they're going to have at least one massive game-warping card that changes the format of Magic constructed play entirely for each set moving forward. I'm not sure if this is true, it's just a theory at the moment, but I really hope it's not the case. This truly is the age of Magic the Gathering scalping. Scalpers have found that it's quite profitable to just buy up every listing on Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, any of your local stores, just using bot farms, and they will immediately list these up for double or triple the price. This is the unfortunate standard Wizards has set for their game. It feels like recently Wizards has entered a dangerous nosedive where the only people able to get their hands on, at least in this recent time, Universes Beyond product are scalpers, and now you have to decide between buying off scalpers or just skipping the set entirely, or just buying the singles you want. And you know, it's just a little upsetting. If I were to describe this year for Magic the Gathering, I would describe it as exhausting. It's just not fun when there's this much drama associated with the game, and it's so hard to get your hands on the product. While I do enjoy this game, the reason I actually named my channel the TCG Trash Man rather than the MTG Trash Man is because I am worried about the health of the game, and I want to be able to pivot very easily to another game. But I hope you enjoyed this recap. Thank you all for the support. This marks close to what'll be my 1 month on YouTube, and you guys have all been the best. Thank you so much.